Well, good afternoon, class of 2026. It's really a great honor to add my voice to the chorus that's officially welcoming you as members of the Harvard community. Give yourselves yet another round of applause. You guys deserve it. So I want to go back to where Dean Harrington was, and I'd like to reflect a little bit about my first year experience as well. It was actually 53 years ago, hard to believe, 53 years ago this week, I said goodbye to my friends and family in Pontiac, Michigan, and arrived here in Cambridge as a first-year college student. No, I wasn't a student at Harvard College. I went to a small New England technical school at the other end of Massachusetts Avenue. It's called MIT. It seems like yesterday. Time goes really, really fast, and as you're about to discover, as you get older, it just accelerates. I can tell you with absolute complete confidence that memories of your first few days, your first few weeks on this campus will remain absolutely vivid throughout your lifetime. Trust me, they will. You're going to recall who you met, who you befriended, the first class you took, the first assignment you did, the first grade you got. Yeah, and you'll probably even recall the first burger you had at Bartley's. You're going to recall everything. Now, as I reflect back upon my first year here in Cambridge, what I recall most vividly was my freshman roommate. His name was Alan. He was a lacrosse player from New Jersey. He was big, I was small. He was messy, I was neat. He brought his stereo to campus and loved to study with the music blasting. I liked to study with the stereo off. He liked to listen to the Rolling Stones, The Who, the band. My taste in music ran to Bob Dylan, James Taylor, Joni Mitchell. I know I'm dating myself, but you guys actually still listen to our music. Alan liked all New York sports teams. I hated them. He was politically quite conservative. I was anything but. I said to myself, this is not going to work out. But you can probably tell, since I'm telling this story today to all of you, I could not have been more wrong. Alan, beneath a seemingly sort of crusty, loud, opinionated exterior, proved to be one of the kindest, most interesting people I met during my time in college. He was incredibly well-read, a terrific writer, and I have to confess, and for this I will always be grateful, extremely generous with his time, particularly in helping me with freshman physics, calculus, and chemistry required of all first-year undergraduates at MIT. I wouldn't have gotten through it without Alan. While we differed with respect to almost everything related to politics, and remember, this is in 1969, the height of the Vietnam War. There were lots of debates. Alan loved a really good argument, and we had lots of them. He became one of my closest friends, and we actually continued to live together when I came down the street to be a graduate student here at Harvard. On my very first day at Harvard Law School, first day of orientation, he fixed me up on a blind date with his girlfriend's roommate. And, miracle of miracles, that blind date is actually in the audience today. I'd like to introduce you to my wife of 47 years, Adele Fleet-Bacco. Thank you, Alan. Really thank you. And if that's not enough, Alan wound up marrying Adele's roommate, Debbie. They met freshman year in college, not here at Wellesley. The two of them actually came to our wedding. They got married a week to the day before we did. They came to our wedding on their honeymoon. Today, 53 years after we met, Alan and Debbie remain two of our closest friends. This summer, this same roommate that I thought this is never going to work out, Alan and Debbie came to our house. They spent 3 days with us. We had every meal together. We have been through, candidly, all of life's passages together. The birth of our children and their children, the work of building careers and families, the joys and, yes, disappointments of life, the sweetness of every milestone, and the sorrow of every loss. We still actually agree about very little when it comes to politics, but we have very civil conversations, even vigorous debates, and usually end up agreeing to disagree. But in the course of those debates, we always respect each other, and we invariably learn something from our conversations. And I can honestly say that after having met Alan, and I met Debbie freshman year as well, after 53 years of knowing them, I can honestly say that Adele and I love the two of them. So what's my message here? It's during your time here, please, please don't overlook your Alan. Please don't judge people quickly based on their outward appearances or your first impressions. One of the many reasons that we admit students, literally from all over the world, students who bring, as you've heard, you guys bring so many different life experiences to Harvard with so many different interests. One of the reasons why we do that is because, as you've already heard from others, we learn from our differences. As you get to know your roommates and your classmates, please be slow to judge and quick to understand. If I had made the mistake of being quick to judge and slow to understand, not only would Alan not have become a lifelong friend, Adele and I would not have 2 kids and 4 grandchildren. Look at what I would have lost. Give everyone the benefit of the doubt, at least initially. Not just here at Harvard, but throughout your life. And I think you're going to be surprised by the number of friends you will acquire, people who are actually quite different from you, but people who I think will enrich your life immensely. Now, if you're like most Harvard students, the friendships that you make in the next few days are likely to stick with you forever. A few of you, if statistics are true, are even likely to meet your spouse or your life partner here. And by the way, if you don't believe me, make a point of talking to Allison Mendenhall afterwards, because Allison met her husband, Elliot, during her freshman year in Leverett House. No, not in Leverett House, excuse me, but freshman year, you guys met. We were just talking about this before. Now, I know this statement is true, that people are going to form lifelong friendships. You're going to meet, your significant others, because I attend a lot of Harvard reunions. I hear the same stories over and over and over again about the relationships that began literally within a day or two of setting foot on this campus. Your best friends, the people who you will share your life together, are literally sitting among you. Your job is actually to go find them, and find them you will. Now, let me also acknowledge another reality, and that is that you're probably going to meet some people at Harvard that you actually don't like. Harvard is a microcosm of the larger world, and everything that you may find objectionable in that world is likely to be present in some measure here as well. We are not perfect, but as an institution, we always strive to be better. While we try to be a caring, understanding, and welcoming community, the reality is that we cannot protect you from everything that you may find to be unpleasant. And that's actually not our job. Our job is to prepare you for the world you inhabit when you leave this yard, when you go out from Harvard. And that's a world that's not likely to treat you gently, or as my generation would have said, with kid gloves, just because you happen to have a Harvard degree. We're here to prepare you to deal with that world, a world that will challenge you and sometimes even offend you. And I hope you will master these skills while you're at Harvard so that you can actually devote your life to repairing a world that we know is far from perfect. Now, I know from conversations that I've already had with some of you that many of you really want to change the world. That's one of the reasons why you came here, and good for you. God knows the world needs changing. That's actually one of the reasons why we admitted you guys here. But if you want to change the world, the only way you can do it successfully is you actually have to persuade other people. I'm going to return to a theme that the dean of the college said. You have to persuade other people to change their minds. And you literally can't do that unless, as Rakesh said, you've already learned how to change your own. It's like trying to teach somebody to ride a bicycle or how to swim where you don't know how to do it yourself. So, as you've heard from multiple speakers, our motto is Veritas, and it's more than a motto. It's the reason we exist, to seek the truth. But truth needs to be tested. It needs to be revealed, and that can only happen on the anvil of competing ideas. If you really seek the truth, as you've heard from others, it's really, really important to engage with people who think differently from you. And even more importantly, as Rakesh has said, you need to be willing to change your mind in the face of a better argument, in the face of new information. Only when you have this kind of experience will you be well equipped to make a difference in the world, and we hope that's also something that you will master here during your 4 years at Harvard. Now, on move-in day, Adele and I helped a number of you schlep your boxes up to your rooms. Let me see, anybody out there that we actually helped to move in? Raise your hand if you did. Thank you very much. My back is still recovering from that. During the course of the day, we actually witnessed a lot of emotional goodbyes. And for some of you, it was you that was being emotional, but in most cases, it was your families, your loved ones, who were having, let's face it, a hard time letting go. But now, you are gone. You've literally been at the center of the world of your loved ones since you first entered their lives. And the house is different. In many cases, it is deathly silent. You guys have all sorts of people to help you through this transition to college. You have academic advisors. You have peer advisors. You have proctors. You have residential advisors. You have deans. We have a whole army of people to help you make the transition from where you've come to here, to Harvard. But your loved ones are on their own. It's up to you to help them make this transition. So I have a special request. Every now and then, give them a call, not a text, a call, and ask them how they are doing. I guarantee you, they will appreciate it. Class of 2026, We have great expectations for each and every one of you. I hope that Harvard is everything that you dreamed it would be, intellectually, socially, personally. I only wish that I could actually come back 50 years from now to ask each and every one of you how your life turned out and what influence Harvard had on who you became. I have every confidence that you're going to do great. You're going to have a wonderful experience. You're going to grow in ways that you never thought imaginable. You will do things that you could never in your life have ever contemplated. Because I guarantee you, 53 years ago, when I entered MIT as a first-year student, I never imagined I would be standing in front of you today, welcoming the Harvard College class of 2026. Best of luck to each of you, and Godspeed.